Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of HER Space Unscripted. This week's episode, I have a guest that has been a friend for a very long time. She has seen me evolve into lots of different versions of myself, but my favorite part about our friendship is all the versions of her that I've got to know and love throughout the years. She is a woman of faith. She's a mommy. We laugh and joke and say she's the mayor because she knows everyone in our community because that's just who she is. Miss Tanya.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm so excited to have you. We literally were joking.
I'm excited to be here.
Before you got here, because I was like, I have papers, never have papers. But for her and I needed papers. We'd be sitting here talking for like 10 hours.
Yeah, true.
Every time we have lunch, we shut that shit down.
We both have to have something to do after to make sure we don't...
Even then, we're there texting, pushing stuff back.
Yep.
Yeah, pushing stuff back.
Yep.
But
it's all good stuff.
Because every time I get with you, I just leave so happy, so motivated, so inspired. And it's literally even been before I was a nice, good, healed person. Like I was a really shitty person and still left that way. So, because that's the energy you have.
Thank you.
So, as I said, woman of faith, mommy. Just tell me a little bit about who's Tanya.
Yes. Oh, that's a great question. Okay, so who is Tanya? I am a life coach, life health and wellness coach. I'm a mother. I'm an advocate. I'm a servant. I'm a server. I have a servant's heart. Definitely. I feel like I always have. I always have been a fighter for the better, the good side,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm a mother. I'm a caretaker. I'm a caregiver. I'm a wife. And I'm a woman of faith. And I say mother, the way I used to answer that question always was I'm a mother. I'm a wife. And those things, although they're important. And true, right? No. Those things don't define who I am. They don't define me. And I've recognized that I tend to find myself kind of changing the priority of those things. Mm-hmm. And today and right now in my space, I am a life coach and I'm doing a lot of service in that area. And I love it because it aligns perfectly with everything else, with the motherhood, with the wifely, duties and responsibilities and the home front and the friendships and, all the things. So that is who I am.
Yes. No. And I love that about you because like I said, we've grown to a bunch of different versions of women in our friendship.
So many.
It hasn't always been like that for you.
No.
When I first met you, that is exactly what you would have said.
Yes.
That I'm a wife, I'm a mom.
I'm an office manager.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
I work in the dental field, right? It's like you have at that point, yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. And I thought that that's what I was and such a almost scary place to be where you where the space you're in defines who you are,
I love that. Say more about that. How did you come to that? Or how did,
oh, okay.
We're going to get into it.
I love it. Okay.
Just get into it, girl.
I'm
how did you become so dang awesome?
So I've always been pretty awesome. Let me tell you. Ask everybody. No, just kidding. No, truly, I have been in spaces where I have and I don't mean to say the material stuff, but I've had the things, right? I've had the big house, the car, the 2-car garage, the things, right? And just only because I thought that's what I had to have. I thought that was the normal thing, not realizing that, I was in debt because of it. I was, what I mean?
That equals happy.
Right. I'm thinking that's happiness, right? Yeah. The material stuff. I'm not really realizing that I'm lonely in this big home. I'm doing this and or the companies that I've worked for, right? I've made a lot of other people a lot of money, right? I've managed offices. I've tended to, I've done the things, right? I've been the person to sign the checks and and all that has been wonderful. And I'm so grateful to God for the opportunities of those. But that's who I thought I was. That's who I thought I would my name is Tanya and I'm And it's like,
as a person.
Like
not just, it wasn't your career. It wasn't, it was you.
Yes.
You as a
like
woman.
Genuine, like at that moment, if you would have taken that role away from me, I feel like I would have, and we'll get to that. But like, I feel like I would have felt like I was nothing.
Yeah.
You know, but then there's the healing process and all that, right? But I genuinely having those roles in my life have been such a growing experience. I always say, you know, instead of what I'm going through, I say what I'm growing through. Right? Because everything is an opportunity to learn from, and nothing in my life, not loss of my mother, not divorce, not my son being in ICU, not medically induced, not these things. None of those things go like I would take back. Yeah. I have no regrets because I learned from every situation, every circumstance, every movement of my life, every transition, every part of it, right? So when I say that, going back to the original question, when I say like those things defined who I was, they so did. Yeah. And it was so heavy and I didn't even realize it. I didn't even realize it. And then fast forward, right? Like another moment that I could think of that comes to mind is my son, right? Like I was his caretaker for a long time. And when that shifted, that changed, God allowed that to happen. I like again lost myself because I was a mother. I was a caretaker. I was and that's the way I viewed myself. That's the way I felt like everybody viewed me, you know? And then I had to find myself again. And that, mind you, this is 20 years later. Yeah. Right? So in all this time frame from day one, right, when I start to even think of who am I, right? Yeah. Girl, I didn't even know what my favorite color was. Yeah. Up until like 7 years ago. My kid asked me one time, Mom, what's your favorite animal? You know, just fun questions like that. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I know now it's a lion. Yeah. Like, it's a lion. I know my favorite color. It's hot pink. I know when you ask, like, what are you wearing? I'm like, pink shirts.
I know. Well, and it wasn't just pink shirt. It was because it's Wednesday. Mind you, I don't have pink. Like, I'm not the pink girl. I live in black. It is what it is. And so she said pink. And I'm like, girl. All I got is a blazer. And then you're like, gym clothes, girl. That ain't happening. Like, I can't.
Oh, no, because I wrote down my goals years ago, and I was like, goals. In my profession, I want to only wear gym clothes. So
I know I made it. If I can go
Girl, I made it.
Girl, I look like Adam Sandler on the regular. So I guess I made it too.
Yeah, see? There you go. See? It's all about what you want.
But you know, that's, to a lot of people would be a weird goal.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's because for so long, it was like, we got to get
Prim
up
and
at
proper,
6 in the morning, and it has to be a black blazer, and it has to be this, and it has to be heels,
and she's got to match, and you know, which again, grateful for. Yeah. Taught me a lot of wonderful things about the professional world and all the things, and I'll get dressed up when I have to. I don't like
Keyword.
I don't like
have to.
You know, so many of my friends have tried to like, ooh, what are you going to wear? You should do this. I'm like, you're stressing me out. Back up. Like,
girl, I have one of my best friends is one that's what she loves. Like, she loves. And I'm like, bro, we come looking crazy. She's like all dressed and glorious and glamorous. And I'm there, Adam Sandler looking like,
Adam Sandler.
I didn't know the dress code. Like, you know, Adam Sandler, you've seen him at the Grammys. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Just like that.
Him
but you feel good.
Yeah. Well, and it's like not even that I feel good. It's just not a priority. Yeah. Right? Like, I think like with the 1,000,001 things that I have to do today, getting glamorous today just didn't make the cut. Yeah. It just didn't make the cut, bro. Like, I'm coming as I am. And I used to laugh because I do, like, you know, I mean, I have contracts with the city, or I go to the state and I'm doing all of these things, and they're in my leggings just chilling. Like, I just don't anymore. The girls at work used to be like, oh, I would come dressed. Oh, you have a meeting at the city? I'm like, yeah. And now I'm like, I got a meeting at the city. And they're like
that.
Like, you leaving like that?
Yeah.
But it is. It's this feeling of just, like you said, that's what I like to wear. Mm-hmm. I like to not necessarily look like Adam Sandler. That's my child.
I don't mind
my child's take on the way I dress. But, you know, leggings are a girl's best friend. I'm okay with that. So, okay. Your goal was to wear,
this.
What, like, So did you do that? Was that like part of it? Did you like sit down and like, these are my goals? Or like, how did you go from a person who just felt like her identity was her work, her identity was her being a mother, right? Like just feeling so like that. Did you sit down and set goals, or like what was the pivot like? What did that look like?
So the tripped out part was I didn't recognize that I even was doing that until about 7 years ago.
Okay.
7 years ago is when I found myself at a space where I was like, in spaces with people that I got to a point where I was like, I don't like how this feels. And then I started to recognize and realize and like really dig in, right? Like I started the books and phone calls and support groups and women that are empowering each other. And I mean, and then because I was all about like the universe and the, you know what I mean? What aligns and then, you know, God used that to take me to the truth, right? He allowed me the space, the agency, the people, all that. And then I got connected in church. I got connected with church. I got connected with real life people, right? Because then we had, COVID happened and all the things happened, transition happened. This was during a really hard period of my life, a divorce. Again, my son was medically induced in a coma, and like just lots of things were going on. Yeah. Life was hard. Life was lifing the heck out of me. You know, my dad passed away. My mom was already gone for a few years. Like I'm here in New Mexico with no family, right? I'm finding myself in a lot of, but in no part of that was I a victim. Like in no part of it was a conversation I had with my brother. This was a very pivotal moment. In no part of that was I like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. Like, of course there was sometimes it would like, but I was always like, get up, go to work, get up, do the job, get up, do the thing, get up, take care of your son, get up, go to church, get up. It was like, they were just like checklist items, right? And I get, the more you get involved, right? I decided, okay, I'm not going to isolate. I'm getting involved. I'm pushing through. So you start hanging out with the right people. You start doing the right things, right? But this conversation that I had with my brother, he told me, he's like, sis, you're going through a lot. Like there's a lot going on. Like, how can we help? Like you can come here, you can do this, you can do that. There's a lot of, and then I was like, no, like I'm good. But that was the ego. That was the pride. That was all that I ever knew up to that point. I'm good. I'll figure it out. Thank you. Love you. And then he said something that is like true, right? Mija, you don't have any family there. Like how are you going to do it? And I was like I wasn't offended. it was like truth. Like God literally told me, but yeah, that was true. Right. But also, so it was like a hard pill to swallow, but it was also like, I don't like with family. It's a little, I get it. Family's sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes it's a little bit of a
sometimes
chaos.
Not having any family, it could be
at least that's what I hear. I don't live close to family enough to know all that, right? But at that moment I felt like, oh, wow, like just hearing that dose of reality, like it did two things for me. It like, it's such a trip. It like gave me this like push, but it also gave me this like, okay, you don't have those things, but you can create those things. You have friends and you have to ask for the help you need. But before you ask for the help you need to know clearly what it is you need. So you need to dig in deep. You need to pray about it. You need to talk to the right people. You need to disconnect with some not so right people, right? And I asked God, I said, Lord, please, like, give me the clarity to know what's next. Give me the clarity to know where I need to be. Remove anybody that is not for me, Lord, and bring those that are. And it felt like a selfish prayer at the moment because I was like, bring those who are, like, to help me, right? But at the same time, then I again, it was every day I was like, just weed out the ones that don't belong in my life. And then I was like, wait, not that one. Wait, Lord, not him.
Yeah.
Not
that
her.
one's supposed to be
we
here.
Were supposed to, right. This was not the plan, right? But God knew what he was doing the whole time for me and for them, right? Like the transitions that have happened since then, I sought therapy, like because of this women's group that I got connected with, and like it really started inspiring me. The changes started to happen. I went from believing in the universe to truly reading my Bible, truly praying. And I grew up in church. I've decided to stray away on my own, right? I had a mother that was a God-fearing woman that sought the truth every day and that showed up every day as a woman of God and showed me nothing but God every single day. And I chose as an adult to steer away from that, right? So then now I'm reconnecting. Now God's given me this second chance, this opportunity, right? And I remember there was this moment my son was really sick. We were again going through the divorce. All these changes were happening that were really big things. And I get so excited when I tell this story because it was literally like the day after he got discharged. So like the lights were bright and the things were, but I was like at home and I was thinking, God, I gotta go to church. I gotta be there. Like I've been in this dark hospital for days. It's like Vegas. I didn't know what day it was, what time it was, but not the fun, not the fun side of it.
But not actually Vegas.
Not actually like Vegas, but you know, you get it. But I knew that I needed to be there. And my friend had invited me so many times. And every time I'd be like, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. And so I pushed myself to get there. And I'm like, come on, son, let's go. He gets in the seat. He's barely, literally like able to like be, right? And I'm like, we got to go. And it took so much to just get in the car. And we like drive over there and I'm at prayer and I park. And I just go straight to the back. Oh, sorry, straight to the front. And I have him next to me and I'm like still trying, he's like wobbly still. Like I'm still trying to like hang on to him and I walk straight to the front and I go straight to the right of the church. I've never been in this church before, so I don't know really like where to go or where the seats are. And I walk to the front and okay, let me back up actually. I get to the parking lot, I walk to the door and I think I'm there at like 11 and church started at 10. And again, my friend told me 15 times what time church started. I just, you remember what you want.
Yeah. So I'm almost positive she said 11, even though in my heart I knew it was 10.
Sure. Yeah. So I get to the door and a brother of the church, he's at the door. And I look and I'm so sad because I see that it says 10 a.m. and it's like 11 by this time. I don't know. Whatever time it was way late. And I was like, oh no, we're late. And then I looked at Ray I looked at my son like it was his fault. Like immediately.
Like he knew the time.
I remember like we're late, bro. Like we're late. And then this brother from the church, he opens the door and I remember he has this like vest on and it says the church name and he opens the door and he says, no, you're not, sis. You're right on time. And he opened the door and I swear I was like, are you an angel? Like,
God.
Are you literally thinking? I was like, oh my God, thank you,
because you were about
Lord.
to leave. Like
I was about to leave. And I was about to almost use that as I tried.
Yeah.
I tried.
An excuse. Like, just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, was one of those things, right? No, and he said that and I walked in and we walked straight to the front and I just threw my hands up. And if I could have got on a ladder and put them up any higher, I would have, because I was giving him all of the honor, all of the glory for like keeping my son alive, for my life, for a second, third, fourth, fifth. How many chances have you given me, Lord? Thank you. Right. And I was like, I'm here. Like, I don't got no other motive but to be here and just like, thank you. Like, I don't need nothing from you, Lord. I just need to thank you right now. And then, I go back into this. I remember I went back into this like shell, okay, I got to go now before church ends, right? Because then everybody's going to like come and like, because like you said, I know everybody.
Mayor.
It was like walking into Walmart.
Girl, I don't go to Walmart. That's why I don't go to Walmart. I swear. We just went to Walmart this weekend. It was the first time in like 18 months. No joke. My daughter was like, Mom, oh my God, you haven't gone since I wanted those grapes for New Year's last year. And I was like, girl, I tell you, you go in there 10 hours later, you know everybody and everybody's grandma and the goldfish and everybody.
For everything.
But okay, so
clearly God wanted you there. He wanted you to have that moment. Do you feel like that's when you genuinely reconnected with him, or like?
Oh yeah. Since that day, I've never went back. I've always just done I was like, Lord, I'm going to serve you, and I'm going to serve you the right way, and I'm going to through for your purpose, I'm going to serve others. Yeah. And and then lots of life happened during that time, right? But I was still in a situation where it was hard to, be a parent. It was hard to go to work. It was hard to serve, to be at church, right? It was hard to even get there on time, right? But like, it wasn't impossible.
Yeah.
Like it was, and I always say, like, everything's a choice. We have so much, everybody goes through transition. Change is inevitable, right? It is. We all grow through things. How are we handling it? Like, what are we doing? How are we, I have so many conversations with beautiful people. They're like, I can't. And I'm like, yes, you can. Let's start by praying. Like, this is that you probably can't, but God sure can. And I'm telling you this, and I don't tell people nothing that I haven't never experienced. If I have never experienced that thing, and it trip out that I have experienced a lot of the things that people have all. What?
My list is long,
like,
so long
what?
list.
I'm like, after the thing, right after the circumstance, I'm like, oh, I think there's a purpose you're trying to add to my testimony, Lord. Thank you. I think.
That is so crazy that you say that, because today actually it was therapy for me, right? So I had therapy this morning, and one of the things that her and I talked about was that, because we all use these words strong and resilient and all of these things, right? Because we were talking about my kiddos, because my son totally ditched me on the first day of kindergarten today.
You were not okay.
Girl, I tried to walk him in and be that mom, right? And he's like, Mom, just get in the drop-off line. And I'm like, no, like, kindergartners get to go inside. And he's like, no, Mom, this is big school. Like, you're not taking me inside. Just get in line, please. And I'm like, you're really going to tuck and roll on your first day. Like, what the heck?
He even used his manners. He even said, please.
And I love your daughter, and I was like, my daughter let me, and now my son is like, no. And he says, we're very different kids. So there I go, tuck and roll my 5-year-old out the door because he refused to let me walk in. But I was telling my therapist about it, and I was a little sad, but I was more proud, right? Because he's so independent, and he was so ready, and he was good to go. But
great job,
that's
Mom.
what you want for your kids, right?
Is.
And so when I hear, like, everybody calls me very strong, they call me very resilient, right? And I am very strong, and I'm very resilient because of the things I've been, the long list, the testimony, the long list of all the things I've had to go through to become who I am.
Yes.
I want my children to be strong and resilient without having to go through those things. But it doesn't change that is why I am the way that I am. Mm-hmm. So like you said, I think that HER Space and these conversations, it's exactly that. It's the ability to share our stories and resonate with each other, and to hopefully keep people from necessarily having to go through what we go through.
Yeah.
Or, giving them the courage to not endure for 10 plus years like we did, or, all the things. Mm-hmm. Because the words strong and resilient are beautiful words. They just often are attached to very negative things that we've had to go through, right? Like, I'm strong because I had to go through some pretty shitty stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to be strong. Like,
if being strong means having to go through that, can I be something
else? I
else?
off the list. Do not sign me up. And then it's
like you said, that God keeps adding to the testimony. I'm like, bro, I'm strong enough.
Yes.
Like, can we agree that I'm strong enough, God? Like, can we in the testimony, the list is long. Like, I feel like I could help a lot of people already. Like,
Where do you want me?
So you can be someone who is strong and resilient from all the things and shares their testimony and all that. But you can still also be somebody who's still going through their shit, and still, like you said, needing to get on them knees and say those prayers, and so life obviously never stopped wifing.
Yeah.
But what was different, right? Like, why did you move so differently then?
I think I took accountability.
Okay.
I took
That's a big
accountability.
word. That's a grown-up word.
Accountability. ACC. Accountability.
No spelling bee champs here, bro.
You didn't tell me that part.
My bad. No, but accountability, big old grown-up word.
Yeah,
Ooh.
accountability. I started, instead of blaming the thing that wasn't working, or the person that wasn't making me feel this way, or wasn't listening, or the job that wasn't fulfilling, I was like, I'm not a tree, I can move, right? I can make a decision. Everything's going to be hard, right?
Choose your
Whether
heart.
I shift, choose your heart, exactly. Whether I shift, I pivot this way, that way. And you know what else? And I'm sure you've experienced this too. If you don't move, God will move you. And it'll hurt a little
Shove,
more.
kick.
I'm like, ow,
I'd be
Lord.
screaming, dragging me by my hair, like,
Yes.
really, bro?
And then I look back and I'm like, with like clear eyes, and like the veil's been removed, and I'm just like, oh, you've been trying to get me out of that one for a minute. Like, oh, wow. Like, I need like neon lights, like stop, but you know.
I don't even know if that would work.
I don't think it would either.
Like I said, pull the hair, move me where you need me, because it,
Girl, they're
because
like,
we are that stubborn.
but also, if I look back, these are things that I prayed for. Remove the people that are not for me. Okay, I see what you don't see. I hear what you don't hear. I see not only that person's not right for you in this season, but you're not really good for that person either, right? So the accountability part, right?
That one's tough.
Yeah,
Though.
still.
Am I the problem?
Uh-huh.
I swear I use that TikTok phrase way more than I should, because I gotta sit there for a minute and be like, bro, am I the problem?
Yeah,
Am
the
I the
accountability,
problem?
yeah.
No. And that one's tough.
It's tough. Even as a mother, right? Even like, okay, so I never want to be that mother or that parent that is like, bro, I did my best. So just like deal with it. I know my kids are going to have some type of therapy they got to go through. And I pray for a good one. I pray for one that's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I pray for something else that I pray for my children is mentorship. Adults, people that are of godly, God followers, believers that maybe will connect with my children. Not maybe, will connect with my children on a level that I cannot. Yeah. Right? People that will listen to my children and hear them differently, because me as a mom, as much as I've had conversations with my kids where I'm like, son, I'm too close to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is hard.
Yeah. This won't be feedback that's unbiased.
Yeah, I'm
this
going
ain't
to tell
gonna
you all
probably
the
help
mom
you.
things,
Like,
and you're going to walk away. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to be weird. This is probably going to and it has.
Yeah.
I have 2 grown children that we have had some crazy conversations. Yeah. And we start with, hey, we can disagree with each other. We will not disrespect each other. Let's go.
Love it.
And I tell them, be honest with me. Tell me the dirty, dark truth. Tell me what is on your heart. Tell me what hurts you. Tell me what I did or said or didn't do, or how I didn't show up for you when you were 10. Yeah. Tell me that part. You invite me to dinner and now you're paying because you're grown and got a job. Thank you, Jesus. Like, tell me those things. And every time they're nuggets, and I just sit there and I'm like, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for trusting me with that. Mm-hmm. Thank you for allowing me to not fix it, right? Because that's not what they're hoping for. But you know what? Like, thank you for we have these chances over and over. Like, God provides these new mercies every single day. And I get to be that to my children. I get to be that new, my 13-year-old, he's at home and I get to love on him, and we get to it's almost like we've got he's the only child. So we get to, today I was making dinner and my husband was like, wow, isn't it crazy? You just get to make dinner for just the 3 of us. I'm like, it's weird. It's still weird. Like, how do you make spaghetti for 3 people?
You don't. I'm convinced that that's like one of the mysteries of there just is not gonna happen.
I'm like, a half of the box of noodles.
And then there's too much, too little,
not enough sauce.
Yes, too sauce. It's just make the whole thing.
It's stressful.
Put it in the fridge. It just is what it is.
It's hard out here.
right. Now you sound like my 5-year-old, man. That's the biggest problem you had today. That's the biggest problem you had today.
See? That's a good one.
Girl, gym clothes. No, but
I love that for you so much, only because, like I said, I've seen so many versions of you. I've been blessed to see so many versions of you.
Thank you.
And,
Yes.
you know, we've sat and had some of the ugly, we've sat and had the crying moments, we've sat and I think, like you said, you were amazing through all of them, but you just, your lens on life just has changed so much as I've known you. And that's one of the things that I've always admired about you. And I've always been inspired. No, it really is. Like, I'm not even saying that to you now, boost you up.
Thank you. I receive that.
But it really has been because you have, I mean, you've changed your life and just been like, yep, that's not for me anymore. And then turn around and do something else. And I'm like, oh my God.
What is she
like,
doing?
I would die. like, yes. Like, and I've always just loved that about you because since you decided to have what's best for you in your life and follow God and just be this woman and really just lead your life by faith. I mean, just you have like, really, if it's not for you, girl, it ain't for you. And you just like, okay.
Yeah. I am like, so hearing you say that, like, it really sums it up to like, I chose me. You know, a lot of us want to live for our children, right? We want to live for our spouse. We want to live for, you know, and the minute that you decide that you're enough, the minute that you decide that it's, I mean, I gotta be the one to get up and go. If I say that working out is a priority, if I say that getting my, you know, my nervous system under control is a priority, then I need to, you know, I need to chat GPT that and figure out my life, you know?
Girl's best friend.
My best friend.
Didn't mean to replace anybody, but you know.
Yes.
You know, Chaz going to the grave with me.
For real. My son calls
Picking
me
the
a
casket
cheater.
and everything.
My son calls me a cheater. My 13-year-old, I'm like, whatever, bro.
ChatGPT, write the will.
Yeah. Take care of me,
No,
please.
I'm
Take care
serious.
of me. Yeah.
No, but man, I love that. And okay, so let me ask you this, because this is something I've faced personally, and even some of the feedback on the podcast has been a little dicey about it.
Okay.
Right? It's like, you're never supposed to put yourself before your kids.
Oh.
And I'm like, look, I have decided what's best for me is that me and my kids are here.
Yeah.
I don't put myself before my kids, but I equally prioritize myself now.
Yes. Okay.
Because if I'm not a happy woman and a happy mommy, I can't raise happy, healthy humans.
Yes,
It's just what it is. I've learned that. And that's not how it was taught to me.
Right.
I love my mom to pieces, but man, she backburned herself every chance
People
she had
pleasers.
because that's
But we were
what she
taught.
thought
Yeah.
made a good mom, right? And so, you know, I've had that kind of feedback where it's like, you should never put yourself before your kids. And like I said, it's like, so hearing you say that, where was that for you? When did you decide that? How did you decide that? And how do you know that's what's best for you?
Because it was a conversation I had with my 19-year-old now. He was 16. And I remember him telling me after kind of, you know, your kids are watching you. We think they're not. We think they don't see what is really going on. We think they don't see the hurt, the pain, you know what I mean? They just, to be honest, they just wish you would talk to them. They just wish you would tell them like, hey, mama's hurting right now, but we're going to be okay.
And you know what I learned about that is like we hide it, right? Because we think that's being the good parent. All we're teaching them is this unrealistic expectation that when life sucks, you better handle it with, you better not be afraid.
Strong.
You better not be scared. You better
Don't
not cry.
cry.
You better, right? None of the things. Because
So what happens when they feel those feelings?
they feel like they failed.
They
They
feel
are
like
the world's worst.
Yep.
They failed us. They failed everybody because they fell apart just like we did. We just didn't show them we did.
And I think of these moments when my mother, so my mom, oh my gosh, she's such a hero of mine. She was, prior to me being born, she was a heroin addict for 14 years. She was promiscuous. She was a drunk. She was, you know, just all the things, right? God saved her from that. With a needle in her arm, she called out to Jesus and said, Lord, I'm done, right? I was almost ready to go to foster care. I got cared for by a grandmother and my dad finally stepped up and stepped in, right? My brother was able to go with her to this rehab home, to a church rehab home, right? And so I could be anywhere else right now but here. after that, she is one of 6 siblings. All of those other siblings are dead, in jail, or on the streets on drugs right now. One of 6, okay? And she, by the grace of God, I don't know why her, right? But I do know that she took that and ran with it. She took that seriously. She said, no way am I backsliding. No way am I showing my children anything else. So it started with her. Yeah. It started with her. So how dare I? Here I come, right? She's a chain breaker here. How dare I do anything else but follow that lead, right? So I have this picture in my head that's like of her like going through like a jungle, you know what I mean? Like with like, there's probably like a name for whatever I'm using, right? It's like a big old giant knife.
Machete.
What's a machete, that one. So she's using a machete. She's like, cha, 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 you know? And it's like all these things, like all these things, drug addiction, right? Probably all kinds of things she didn't talk to me about, right? All kinds of things she didn't know, right? All the things, right? And then here I come like, okay, shame, guilt, right? All the things, anxiety, depression, all the things, right? And there's still some things just still, right? She didn't get them all, right? So then here I am behind like, okay, yeah, like taking care of those things.
But I don't know if you ever do get them all.
No, I don't think so either.
And even the ones you get can regrow.
Yeah.
I think
if you're not putting in the work, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Right? Because it's
but she's clearing the path.
Yes, and how yeah, and that's because we feel like that. We talk about that a lot. Where we came from, where we're at. You know, you have a very, even more heavy, childhood and life that you've come from than even I do. But that generational change, that decision to do different for us.
Yes.
It also came with a little bit of a heaviness for us to say, like you said, how dare I? Yeah. But that came with some heaviness too. Yeah. And I think sometimes that impacted our identity being our career, or our identity being our parent, a good parent. And
for sure.
Because we were like, well, we're never going to not, expand on what that was given. And, and we think like it was so hard for her to do all the things she did and she still did them. Yeah. How dare me with my little problems. Yeah. But I think it's important too for us to recognize that our little problems are just as heavy as they are. They need to be for us.
Absolutely.
Right. Just because we didn't bear the same problems as that, it doesn't negate how heavy it is for me and what I'm going through. Or, but like you said, knowing that I can, knowing that God will guide me, sometimes push me and shove me and make sure I go in that right direction.
Yeah. Or be there when I go into the wrong direction. Be there with open arms.
Go back. We're going back, But how has, obviously, like you said, your mom is your hero. How have you become your own? Because I feel like you are, like you live in such a space now, Tanya, that like you're that bitch. I mean, I don't even like
Thanks.
You just are like, you just live
that.
in such a space that you are that person. So how do you stay in that space? Like, how do you, because like I said, they grow back. Like it's not ever like, oh, mom, my problems are solved and I'm this.
So for real, like I am the student as much as I'm the teacher. Like I'm always learning. I'll tell you this, when I was like, probably, and like, sorry to anybody who knew me before 30. God be showing me things, okay? But like prior to age 30, here's what happened, okay? It's like I thought I knew everything, because of like whatever, all the things, right? I thought I knew everything. I'm a mother, I'm a this, I'm a that, I've been through everything, all the things. And then God like humbled me and like removed the veil. And then I was like, the world got bigger, but in such a beautiful way. Like the world got bigger and I have so much to learn. What an amazing opportunity. Now, girl, I wake up every morning, 5:30 on the dot. I don't press snooze. I wake up, my mornings are my jam. I pray, I read my word, I get on a call. I'm on a I'm on an hour call with women that are inspiring, that are motivating, that are God-fearing, that are loving, that are, it wasn't always. I've been on the same call for 4 years. Every day.
No.
It was, and
Remember, I was like, does it have to be at 4:30?
Yeah. It starts at 6. It starts at
guys. My happy is 7 a.m. You choose you, I choose me.
And my morning's
Mine
on
is
my
snooze.
jam.
That is my jam. The snooze button is a
But
girl's
you know
best
what?
friend.
By 8 p.m., I'm tired. I'm like, don't ask me.
What does that mean for me?
Yeah.
But no,
but it's
you
being
have,
a student.
and you
It's
built
constantly
that.
being a student.
Because even when I was on there, when I did wake up that one time and talked with you guys,
It was amazing and it was great, and I just wish I could wake up that early and do it all the time. But
that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And so you really have built this community of women and this community, the family we choose. Because I believe that. I believe
for sure.
that, and that's not to say that I don't love my family.
Absolutely.
But, there's your family and then there's the family you choose.
Yes.
So how did you build that? Or like, how did you, because obviously, like you said, you prayed a lot and God took a lot of people out of your life. Do you think that he placed your family, or like, how did you decide that?
So through all that, I always love the question like this, because it's not, a lot of people will say things like you said earlier, like you just, maybe you didn't say it in these words, but it's the way I heard it. It's like you just shift so you transition so easily, that's the way I heard it, right? And,
I know it wasn't easy.
and I know, right? The way that people say it, right? To me, or the way like, wow, girl, what are you doing these days? And I'm like, whatever I want. And it wasn't easy. It's still not easy, but I transitioned. Like when you're consistent with the things that are your priority, then you build and you build and you build. And when you really get to know yourself, you figure out what it is you're even trying to build, right? You figure out what it is your purpose even is. And then your yeses are yeses, your nos are nos, right? I always say, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no thank you. When you asked me, when you invited me here, I was like, hell yes.
That is literally what you said.
I did. And I'll say it again, right? There are some things that, I'll say no thank you. And I don't have to explain why. I don't have to give this lame excuse of because my son is sick, right? I don't gotta start making up stories. I just say no thank you. And guess what? The people that God has placed in my life, he's handpicked my people. He's like, yeah, that one for a little while. That one,
that part.
Yeah, you're gonna learn a lesson with that one. But but the people that I have, that God has allowed in my life, right, as a covering. I don't have to worry about sugarcoating stuff, canceling last minute. I respect people's time, so I try not to do that. But you know what I mean? I don't have to worry about making something up. I don't have to worry about hurting people's feelings. I don't have to worry about I've learned so much being open to, I don't know everything. Yeah. Even to my children, I'm like, we've had conversation where they're like, well, my middle son, well, you didn't really teach us about finances. You gave us everything and we didn't have to work for it. And we just said it. And you never really, I don't really know the world. Cause they don't know, they are not of the streets. You know what I mean?
You grew up in the burbs. And you better not become a rapper. I will call you out.
Sideways hat. Yeah. So I'm like, wait, what? I want them to learn the things of life, but I don't want them to learn the way I learned.
Exactly.
I don't want it to be circumstantial. I had to do these things because I was a young teenage mom. I had to do these things to pay the bills. So I remind them, you don't have to do these things. You can choose your career now. You can do this, you can do that, but you have options. Yeah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for, right? They thank you, Dad. Thank you to the people that have supported you throughout this process to get you to where you're getting. Now do something with that. Yeah. Now let God use you, right? Yeah. And then, that's the other part is mothering is just like that. I cannot control what my children do. No. It's all at
some point, and it's actually pretty young, this point, right?
Yeah.
Because you instill all the things. You teach them to be good little humans. You teach them morals. You teach them values. You do all of that, and then you got to just let them go out and be who they are becoming.
Yes.
You know, and it's scary how early that really is, though. You know, where you're no longer building the ship, you're just helping guide the ship.
Yes.
And it's scary.
Yes, yes.
And I think that a lot of the problem I see is that people don't let go of building the ship, right? They don't let their kids go and be who they're supposed to be, and you know they're too you know, and
they want
and
like
don't
a
get me
hold on
wrong,
them,
you know I discipline the hell out of my kids. My kids,
yeah.
they you know, let my son tell it. I beat him on the regular, yet I've never hit my child in his little life. But you know, he think I will. He think I will. That's the important part. He think I'll get him. You know, I just don't have to. But yeah, no, like I'm so I don't think it's me telling you lack of discipline or lack of, you know, but I do think that in order for your children to truly be who they're going to be and to know that they can come to you when life is gonna life and when all the things are gonna happen, you have to be, you know, able to let them go and do the things and just trust that you did as much as you could to instill the good values and the good, you know, have them believing that God's on their side and, you know, they can, and surrounding them with a good village. Because I truly believe that that's like,
that matters.
Once my village changed, my life changed.
Yep.
You know, once the people in my life were the people that were supposed to be here, my life changed. You know, you said something earlier. You said, well, that I think you make it look easy. But I will tell you, I know it wasn't easy, all of the things that you have done. But it does now, not that it's easy, but it seems easier to decide to pivot for you.
It is.
Because I think that, like you mentioned, like you now know your purpose, you know who you are. And if it doesn't align, you're okay with letting it go or letting it be, you know, pivoting to something else.
Yes.
So we need to wrap this up because, like I said, we'll talk for a million years. But to the women that are watching right now that are pivoting, they're deciding to choose their heart. They're deciding what that looks like. What would you tell them? What advice would you give them?
The advice I would give to a woman that is pivoting and going through some sort of transition, just trying to decide what's next, is seek God in everything. Seek God in everything. Listen, you know, your people matter for sure, but your people love you so much that they're going to want to protect you from all the things. So they're going to tell you, don't do that. How could you afford that? Why would you do that? You know, they're going to tell you these things even out of love, right? Do it anyway. Like, pray about it. Talk to God. Listen. Hear His word. And if you don't know how to do that, like, connect with somebody who does. Like, just have a conversation with them. Like, but get close to people who genuinely will say, hey, let's pray, Angela. And you know what? I'm not just going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for your ex. I'm going to pray for the person who hurt you, who you need to forgive. I'm going to pray for that neighbor that hurt you. I'm going to pray for that situation that you know, that hurt, that pain, that grief that you're holding on to. We're going to pray for that. We're going to pray for the very uncomfortable thing. I'm not just going to pray for you, for sunshine and rainbows and for these blessings upon your life and financial abundance. Again, we're going to get deep with it, right? Like, in everything, seek God, and just, and in all the outside influence, all the things that will be there, like, in everything that I've ever tried to control, it's never been me, ever. It's never been me. It's always been God. The reason I'm alive today has always been God, you know, and in everything, just always seek Him. And whatever transition you're going through, the hard thing that you're going through, believe that you're not alone. Like, believe it. And it can start with a podcast, right? It could start with this podcast. It could start with letting somebody, it could start with something small, building that relationship, and just watch it bloom. Just believe it, watch it bloom. And the more that you learn, teach it. Girl, I used to think that because I didn't know everything, right? I'm learning this life coaching business, this wellness coach business. I can't teach it yet. I need my certificate. I need this paper to tell me that I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, but you've lived so much life and you've learned so much and you're still learning and you can be a student and a teacher. You can, as you're growing through something, as you're going through that divorce, as you're going through that loss, as you're going through that pain, as you're going through that transition, help the next person, yeah? Hold your hand out. You don't gotta have a lot to help. So that's it.
That's it. That's it. I'm over here with, let me get that notebook, girl. Write this down. Help. Put your hand. Got it. No, but as always, I am taking notes. As always, I leave feeling energized and just so loved and inspired and, all the things you always seem to bring into my life. I hope you brought into everyone else. I know you brought into everyone else in this space. So thank you.
Thank you
so
for having
much.
me. This was beautiful.
So if you just feel as amazing as I do after hearing Miss Tanya and her just her energy, her energy has always been what's drawn me to you. It's kept me close to you, and I'm so thankful for it. If you enjoy her energy, the conversation today, like, share, comment, do all the things. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for taking up some space with us.
Love it. Oh, this is so awesome. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.